We are still, Colleen, in a seller's market right now because we're in a strong market. And I like how you pointed out the fact that what a lot of the experts like yourself are saying is that we're in a market correction.
Yes.
Clarify what that means.
So again, we were flat for so long, and we had a slight correction in a dip about 5 years ago. And so I think we're just seeing now in the fact that Ottawa being that we're a pretty affluent city, the fact that we're just seeing corrections in the fact that, 4-bedroom homes should be going for, 5 and above sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we are at right now. The key with the seller's market is the fact, though, it is not a time to get greedy.
And that's the key, isn't it? Because the seller's going to think, well, if I'm the only house up for sale in my neighborhood, everyone's going to want to buy my house. Yeah. I don't have to stage my house.
Yes.
Not true?
Not true. So the same rules apply even though you're a seller. So if I were a seller right now, and you're thinking if you're going to sell now, we're in the spring, I would strongly encourage you to, again, call your realtor and say, what are my options right now? Because it's not a time to necessarily, it might be a great time to get some equity out of your home, especially if you're downsizing.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely key. Yet it is not a time to say, well, I'm just going to throw up the sign and be done with it. You still have to present your home in a proper manner. And so staging your home, doing the upgrades that matter are still really important, as well as the fact that pricing your home well really will situate your home in a price point that makes sense for the market, because no matter what, banks and buyers are still smart enough to know what your home is worth.
Yeah, and that's a key point to probably what your next point would be, and that is to bring in your realtor, because a realtor will do the homework in your neighborhood and will know that if you have a finished basement, or if you have a pool in the backyard, or if you've done a major upgrade in your kitchen, what value that will bring to the home, right? And so you would know how to price that home better than the homeowner just saying, well, I think my home should be valued at this.
Right. And a lot of people, we all believe that our home is a castle.
Of course.
And it's hard to take the emotion out when you're selling a home. In addition to the fact, let's say your home really is in an advantageous area, and the fact that it's in that sweet price point of 3 to 5, and that's where there's a lot of aggression. The fact is, though, that working with a realtor is still really important, because if you don't know how the market is working or how to negotiate, you will often get very overwhelmed. We are seeing quite often in the fact in this market, and a lot of my colleagues will agree, okay, I'm in a seller's market, I'm just going to represent myself. Well, not necessarily the smartest point, because I've seen time and time again where people are saying, well, I'm just going to put a dollar store sign and put a for sale sign, and yet they've left money on the table.
Yeah.
It is proven time and time and time again that working with a realtor will actually put more money in your pocket than if you were to sell yourself.
And that also goes back to the fact that, like you say, you can't be lazy, right? You say you can still get more money. You can't just put that sign up on your lawn, because if you don't do those, if you don't add that fresh coat of paint or fix that, step in your front stoop or whatever that might make a difference, that's thousands of dollars. That could translate into a lot more money. It might cost you a couple hundred, and the benefit could be thousands at the end.
Right, and you have to remember that buyers will interpret what it might only be a $2,000 fix into a $10,000.
Right.
So we often say, if you're taking the opportunity, fix that wonky mirror, upgrade your light fixtures, do certain things that will allow the buyer to be that extra wow, so that they will say, this home feels well kept, this home feels warm, this home feels like I could be here. And so, when sellers are thinking about selling in this market, yes, it's a great opportunity, yet you have to make sure that you put the effort and the equity back into your home. It's what I refer to kind of as a teeter-totter effect.
I was just going to ask you, I've heard of this thing called the teeter-totter effect. What is this?
So when I sit down with my sellers, or even buyers, the fact is, I call it the teeter-totter effect. So if you're buying and selling in the same market, the fact is that, yes, your home might be worth a lot, but then if you're downsizing, then you'll pay less for your home. But also the fact is that if you get less for your home, you may buy less. right? So you have to remember that if you're buying and selling in the same market, eventually it works out, but you just, again, have to really sit down and have your numbers set
Yeah.
so that your expectations are real
Yeah, and met.
and met.